Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mike Strauss, Mike MMA, back with another interview. This time, Jake, the Half Black Attack Smith, joins me. We have a pretty awesome conversation, but before we get to that, you guys know you can find more work at bjpenn.com, Low Kick MMA, and of course, Cage Side Press. Don't forget the YouTube channel, Mike Strauss, Mike MMA. All right, now back to my conversation with Jake Smith. Enjoy. I want to welcome Jake, the Half Black Attack Smith, back. It's been a minute, man. What's going on?
It sure has. It's been quite the fucking minute.
Right? So, obviously, man, for people that don't know you, shame on them, but, your social media game is strong. But when is Bellator going to get you a fight, man?
It's not on them. It's on me, man. Like, they've offered me, 3 or so fights, and I just keep getting fucking hurt.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to throw out a couple names for you. So, Mandel Nalo, that was the name I was supposed to fight. Got hurt. That was my first offer back. Was Mandel Nalo.
That's a tough dude too.
Yeah, he's fucking legit, man. So boom, I re-hurt my hip. Couldn't do it. Then I got offered Goichi fucking whatever it is.
Yamaguchi?
Yeah, Yamaguchi, that dude.
Another stuff.
And right, yeah, I was like, all right, fuck yeah, let's do it, right? Boom, get hurt. Fucking hurt again. Well, actually, you know what? He got hurt too. The Pitbull and Roger Huerta fight. That fight was originally supposed to be me and Goichi.
Wow.
So boom, that falls apart. And then my last fucking fight, actually 2 times in a row, was Brandon Gertz.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Gertz, I remember that fight.
Yep. Gertz and Syed.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, then I tweaked my knee. So fuck, man, it's just been a rough fucking year and a half. Like it's been a struggle for real.
When was the Cazzola fight, man? Was that January of
it was in
2018?
January of last year, end of January. So it's been it's been a fucking hot minute, but yeah. What are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, nothing you can do, right?
Yeah, I feel like I just got cursed with the Dominic Cruz thing. Like I need to ask him if there's a shaman I need to talk to or what. Like fuck.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're 7-2. You're from Gracie Barra, but you're still relatively a young cat, right?
I mean, I don't feel young anymore. Like now I'm feeling like I'm old as shit. I need to get off the pot. Like I'm 28, so
yeah, you're still pretty young in the game.
Well, yeah.
But I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, but we're in the talks of getting something going. I mean, obviously they obviously want me back, and they're offering me the fucking killers. So obviously they think something of me. Oh
yeah, I mean, no doubt, man. You're an exciting fighter, and all 3 of those guys, like you said, those are all. All 3 of those fights I would have loved to see, man. But as I mentioned,
killers row.
Yeah, right. I mean, your social media game. I mean, you're out there. You're fucking hilarious. You're a definite one of the best followers out there in all of mixed martial arts. I attribute that to you just being yourself, man.
Yeah,
is that fair?
That's all it is. That's all it is. I man, I'm not gonna lie. Like there was a moment. After my big win, I was like, oh man, I gotta have a shtick, right? I gotta have a gimmick. Like you gotta do something to get people to get your attention on you.
Right.
But man, that is just it's fucking draining to pretend to be something you're not.
Yeah.
And 2, I think now everyone is just so sick of it. It's starting. I think people are starting to realize, okay, oh well, here comes another fucking gimmick. Oh, you want to be Conor McGregor? Awesome. And that shit's getting played out, man. I'm going to keep it real. You ask me some question, I'm going to tell you how it is. You don't like it? All right, suck my asshole,
Right. Yeah, the lines between mixed martial arts and pro wrestling have kind of always been there, I guess. You could kind of draw parallels, but it seems like today, in today's game, the lines are blurred way more than ever, right?
Yeah, and I blame Chell for it, too. I'm gonna let him know when I see him next. I'm going to crack him in the head. I'm like, hey, man, you got all these fake assholes taking after you, and it's your fault. You ruined the sport.
Really? You really mean that, or are you kind of playing that up? Because of course, Chael's your guy. For people that don't know,
no, that's my buddy. No, I do think Chael's the one that started this whole persona and having a gimmick thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's other guys who kind of talked it up and hammed it up. But if anybody's done it the best, it's been Chael. Or at least this is the one that got the whole thing started. And then Conor follows suit, and he's just like, let me just add a little bit more of an edge to it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny you bring that up too, because I was just talking with my buddy. He and I co-host a podcast called Dirty Brawlers, and I just brought up the idea that 10 years ago, 12 years ago, people were demonizing Chael Sonnen for the things he was saying about Brazil, and he wasn't even you look back now, what he was doing was nothing compared to what people are doing now. I mean, it's like night and day, right?
Yeah, man. Like he was like the PG version, right?
It really,
Everyone was like, oh no, what is he doing? And then now we got Connor over here just not caring about anything, just going after religion and saying the worst stuff ever. And then people are, now we got people who are applauding it, and then of course, then we got the other people going, no, it's too far, and blah 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 blah. When they were the ones that originally were all for it.
yeah, and that's the real thing, the real issue, right? Is that it's, I mean, yeah, he said it, and of course, that's its whole issue. But I think the real issue is you got the people, like you said, man, taking sides. I'm with Connor, or I'm not, and it's like that's the real problem, man, because it draws lines, and it's like this is crazy for what? For a gimmick.
That's all it is, right? Like that's that's the thing is like people aren't seeing what's really behind the veil. Like essentially, Homeboy is the wizard from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, right.
Like once you pull back that curtain, then it's just like, oh, it's just business. He's just trying to make money over here.
That's what he said when he was getting his ass beat, right? I mean,
Exactly, right. Right when he starts getting his ass up, hey, it's just business. Man, fuck you. You can't do that. You can't pull that off. You can't. Like that is some bitch shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's some hoe shit right there.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, it wasn't business when you were calling his dad. I forget what he called his dad. I know that he called Ali a terrorist. He called his dad a snitch, I think, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a game.
Bringing
then.
in kids, bringing in like someone's estranged kid or whatever. Which Ali isn't. If that's true, that's fucked up. But you don't do that. Like you don't go. I feel like you don't go after people's family. Like you keep it between the two of us. If I can't come up with something clever enough to insult you or to get underneath your skin, then I guess I just shouldn't say anything, right?
Right. And it's one thing if that person initiates an attack on you, but to just draw that to just bring someone's family, or yeah, you're right, that's not cool, man. But fuck all that. You got a podcast, right? The Writer and the Fighter.
Yeah. Which actually I took a little bit of a hiatus because again, like I said, it's been a rough year, man. So I was like, you know what? I need to put all this extracurricular shit on pause. I need to just focus on getting healthy and getting back into the cage. Because at the end of the day, man, I'm a fighter, right? Like I love doing podcasts. I love doing interviews like this. I love bullshitting, but I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for me fighting. So I need to get back to just biting down my mouthpiece and punching motherfuckers in the face.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. With this TJ shit, man, that's nuts, right?
Yeah, it is, right? Man, I mean, I'm not surprised. Are you?
No, I kind of am, but yes and no. Yes, because I don't know. Anytime, a high profile fighter like that pops, like for, when it's official, it's always kind of surprising. And then the part of me that's like, no, is like, well, Cody was saying this a year ago. But, but when he was saying that, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if that was just, if this guy was jealous, he had knocked me out once and then again. And, so I wasn't sure if it was a little bit of that. But it turns out, man, it was none of that. Dude was just telling the truth,
Yeah, I thought the same thing at first, too. Because, like, I was on TJ's side. As
me
far
too,
as
bro.
I wanted TJ to win. There's something about Cody. He just kind of rubs me wrong the way.
Mm-hmm.
But then it doesn't surprise me because it's like, okay, the things that TJ was doing, it's kind of like, damn. Like I remember watching him fight and be like, fuck, how does he have that tank to do that? How is he doing? And then, of course he has his workouts and whatever, and he's wearing his little heart rate monitor. I'm thinking, like it just seemed so unattainable to me. Like. I feel like I'm just an average Joe. I'm thinking, fuck, man, my parents suck. I don't have the genes he has,
No, I think that all the time, not a fighter, but yeah, I think that all the time, like, my fucking genetics, man. I got fucked,
right?
But whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. I wanted to ask you, because, you brought up, like, the heart rate monitor, and he worked with Sam Calavita, and they put out a statement, but now, that makes me think, man, like, is it right or is it wrong to bring into question his camp? Like, cause I don't know, man. Like, it makes me wonder, right? Like, I'm not saying they're guilty. I'm not gonna say they're guilty because that would be wrong, right? Point blank. But if it didn't make a motherfucker wonder, I'd be lying.
Exactly. Hey, I'm right there with you. Like, cause you're probably asking. I'm assuming you saw one of my tweets where I was like, connect the dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna put no one on blast. I ain't gonna say no names. But if you look at some of the fighters that are coming out of the same exact camp, and all of a sudden they're doing some crazy ass cardio shit too. Then like how do I put this? That's I ain't gonna say, like I said, I ain't gonna say any names, but let's just say they're not under the UFC roster. And when I watch them fight, I'm in awe, going, "Shit, man! How does anyone even deal with that pace? It's almost even a more of a pace than what TJ's doing." That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, again, connect the dots. You'll find out who. Look at some Instagram pictures. You'll see.
Now, you could attest to this. You're a Bellator fighter. You guys, they do drug testing in Bellator, right?
Yeah, they do. But it's not anything special. All right, so check this out. So for my fight, right, against Steve Kozolov, out in we're fighting out in California. So that's, people recognize California as one of the more progressive athletic commissions.
Yeah, one of the two best, probably.
Right, yeah. Well, this is how they did the drug testing. They did everyone just from the red corner. That was it. That wasn't random all. Just we're only testing red corner.
Really?
So I didn't even get tested. No, I didn't have to pee in a cup or nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking interesting.
Yep.
No,
so
now, do you like that?
Huh?
Do you like that as a fighter? Do you like that?
Do I like it? I don't. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. Because like at the end of the day, I mean, what's it really going to change? Because by the time they get the results, it's too late. The fight's already happened. Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to find him and take away his money? Okay, cool. Where's that money going?
That's what I'm saying. If the money went to you, or at least maybe half of his money went to you or the fighter, that would be the right thing to do, right?
Yeah, then
think so.
that'd be totally different. If it actually impacted the results of my fight, other than just it's a no contest. Like, all right, cool. Now I got this funky one with
an extra number.
Yeah, what's that do for me? Like,
right.
Oh yeah, there was this one no contest on it. Who gives a shit? No, I mean, I think everyone should get tested. Just do it fairly. This whole random whatever, just fucking test everyone. If you're gonna test, just test everyone. If that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man, because the way I'm just fucking demented, man. Like, I have a terrible criminal fucking mind, dude, and the way my mind thinks, right, is like, okay, well, what could have happened, or what could happen is, I'm not saying this happened at all in your situation with Bellator, or it ever has, but I'm saying this could happen. You could have a fighter who is good friends with Scott Coker and management at Bellator. Their fighter they know he could be dirty. He could go to Scott and say, hey, man, our guy's dirty. He's in the blue corner. And then all of a sudden they could just be like, okay, well, we're only going to drop the red guys. Like, that could happen.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Kind of like a, pride, like wink, wink, hey.
Exactly. Because, people have done less than shady shit to keep a fight together, and I'm not saying, I'm definitely not pointing fingers, because Scott Coker is a class act all around, but I'm just saying shit does happen.
I think a lot of it is laziness too, to be honest. Like, I feel like my specific situation with the whole, we're just going to do the red corner. It just seemed like laziness from the athletic commission in general. Like, I don't think it had anything to do with Bellator or anything. So I think some of it, I mean, you got to think, right? Like, this is a lot of these people's just 9-to-5 jobs. Okay. And it's an interesting job to me, but after a few years, I'm sure this shit gets boring. I'm sure they're over it. Like think of your normal day job. Like you're sitting there, first week you're very enthusiastic. You're doing things. About year 2, you start going, hey man, fuck.
Yeah.
But like I'm sweeping stuff underneath like the counter or what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's human nature. And I feel like we can't fuck man. We want to hold these guys to a higher standard, but at the end of the day, we got to think they're human. So with that being said, anything is possible. Your whole criminal minded theory, that's I 1000%, like John Jones, right? Dana White, I think that's some fuckery right there.
I mean, hey, I mean, I'm not saying it is, but it definitely looks like it.
Put me on record saying that is some fuckery, 100%. And Joe Rogan is sipping the tea, man. He's all about it. He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. What do you think, dude? Do you think that he knows what's the deal and he's just putting that out there like that, or do you think that because he doesn't seem like he's a fucking gullible dude, right?
I think Joe is a man's man. So I think when Joe gets a secret or knows something, I don't think he is going to out anybody for his own public or for his own financial gain or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
So him and Dana White are buddies. If he were to know anything coming from Dana White and the UFC, I think he goes, hey, you know what? lips are sealed. You know, he's an honorable dude, and I think he knows how to keep his mouth shut.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think you're right, man. Man, it's crazy. we got to do this more often for sure, dude. Definitely.
Yeah, hey, you know I'm always down. You just gotta send me a text and I'll come on here. I honestly thought you were gonna come on here and be like, hey, Dillon Danis is fighting. What are you thinking?
No, fuck all that, dude. I'm not, I usually tell people I speak with to the first time, like, hey, I'm not like your typical dude. So, like, I want them to feel comfortable. And I usually tell people, like, hey, if there's anything you say that you fucking might regret, like, let me know, dude. I won't put it out there. Like, I'm not that dude, like, I ain't trying to start no shit, like, fuck all that, bro,
Yeah, that's what I expect because it was right after the whole, June 14th got announced. I was like, ah, shit, they want me to talk about Dillon. But
yeah, no, I mean, that dude, he was supposed to fight here in Chicago for the second time, which was going to be cool. I mean, I was going to get to see him fight again. And it's weird, man, because he thinks he's so much cooler than he is. So it's very weird to see him, like he thinks he's the coolest guy in the room. And, he's just not. He's just not that guy.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, because he did that whole like I don't know if you saw it, but Chell did like an interview with him on the bus, and they were kind of hanging out together.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, because I know fucking Chell, I know him pretty well. I know he told Dillon, keep it up and ramp it up, because right after like he did his whole Hawaii thing, he's been tweeting a lot more since then, a lot more stupid shit, like all the like calling out wrestlers and then. Doing the whole like, oh, no wrestlers want to wrestle me, and blah blah blah. Like he's playing up the bad guy shtick even more, and I think Chell is egging him on. And that, you know what? It kind of upsets me, like because I hate it. He's supposed to be my boy, Like,
yeah, right.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. He could be, man. That's pure Chael. He's a genius, man. He knows what he's doing, right?
He is.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's cool to see Chael finally getting like his due and his respect. So that's cool because there was a time when he wasn't. People didn't really look at him like that, dude. But they definitely do now. So that's cool.
Yeah, man. It's just the waves. Like there's gonna be a wave where everyone looks at Conor and thinks he's a jackass, and then once he has a little bit of a dip, people are gonna start remembering all the stuff he did, and then he'll be brought back up to the limelight. It's just that's from what I've seen from the sport, that just seems to be the natural progression of things.
Yeah. There's definitely certain ebbs and flows. Absolutely. Well,
for sure.
Man, thanks for doing this, man. I will take a few minutes here. Shout out your coaches, sponsors, whatever you'd like, man.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah. So I guess follow me at Uber Smitty on Twitter, Instagram, Sam as well. Shout out to my sponsors here, Fit Foods out here in Portland. They're keeping me lean, even though haven't been in a fight camp yet, but my weight is low, so I'm ready for 155. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get on that June 14th card, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, man, Gracie Baja, Portland. That's where I'm at. And if anyone's local or just want to pop in, come in and check it out.
Awesome. Well, again, man, I appreciate it. We'll definitely do this more often, man. We'll make this like a semi-regular thing. Absolutely, dude.
Let's do it. All right, for sure, bro.